Hello Scorpio, my name is Keith Haswell and I'm a professional astrologer. I won't spend a lot of time talking about myself or introducing myself here because I've got 150 YouTube videos, more than 150 YouTube videos up there now with more than 1/3 viewings collectively of those videos, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time introducing myself. Suffice to say that you've probably seen one of those videos. And it's nice to have this opportunity, Scorpio, to be able to look at your cycles for May and June 2015. What I'm going to do for you here is to look at the movements of the faster moving bodies through the houses of your horoscope. But first of all, I just want to remind you, Scorpio, that you are primarily a spiritual being. You are not a human being in search of the spiritual. You are a spiritual being expressing your consciousness at the human level of consciousness, okay? So primarily you are a spiritual being, and therefore you set up tests for yourself in May and June that are hurdles for you to jump and overcome obstacles and things like that. That's the only way that we grow, Scorpio, is by the overcoming of obstacles. We don't grow by everything just running smoothly in our life. We grow by overcoming hurdles, and through overcoming and jumping hurdles and overcoming obstacles in our life, we grow and reach and stretch and develop qualities, principles and values in which we are lacking. So what I'm going to do for you here is I'm going to look at the movements of these planets as they go through the houses of your horoscope. First of all, I'm going to look at the obstacles and the hurdles that you've set for yourself by the movement of Mars and Saturn through the houses of your horoscope, and they represent the hurdles. Then I'm going to look at the joy for you, Scorpio, which is brought about by the movements of the Sun, Venus and Jupiter through the houses of your horoscope during this 2-month period. So just relax and enjoy the journey here with me, eh? You, Scorpio, are a very deep and introspective type of person. And we start off on the 1st of May with Mars in the 7th house of your horoscope. Now, it stays there until I tell you that it changes into another house, okay? With Mars in the 7th house of your horoscope, you can have a lot of stresses and tensions in the area of relationships and partnerships, Scorpio, so you might have a fair bit of conflict and tension in relationships during this 2-month period, or this period up until it makes a change anyway. To start off the month with, there's potential for conflicts with partners, tensions and conflicts and sickness and accidents and things like that to do with your partner. There can be conflicts to do with legal matters, and there can be problems in dealing with the general public, okay? There can be legal complications in some way, shape or form with Mars in the 7th house of your horoscope, and then Mars makes a change into the 8th house of your horoscope on the 12th of May. Now with Mars in the 8th house of your horoscope over the next 2 or 3 weeks, it introduces an element of stress and tension focusing through joint finances. So any finances that you share with a partner is going to introduce a potential there for stress and tension there to do with that joint finances. And there's tension and stress within yourself to do with changes that you're trying to bring about within yourself that are not very smooth. There's a heightening of your sex drive with Mars in the 8th house of your horoscope. And then the last one there for Mars in this 2-month period is the 25th of June, when Mars moves into the 9th house of your horoscope and remains there for 2 or 3 weeks. Not a good time for travel, and there can be arguments and conflicts with in-laws if they play a prominent part in your life, Scorpio, and there's conflicts and tensions and arguments potentially to do with differences of opinion to do with philosophy and spiritual truths, okay? Now there can be conflicts with in-laws and difficulties and stresses with people about who come from overseas. So just be careful there as far as that's concerned, and don't precipitate arguments about religious differences with people. Now we look at the movements of Saturn to see what other hurdles that you've set for yourself during this 2-month period, Scorpio. And you've got Saturn in the second house of finances during this time, okay? With Saturn in the second house of finances, Saturn is the embodiment of the law of economy. And what Saturn is trying to say to you is that all time, energy and money must be used wisely, economically, and in accordance with the law of economy and wherever it sits. And with Saturn in the second house of finances, it means that you've got to watch every single cent that you spend wisely and carefully. Think about every expenditure that you're bringing in, and that brings frustrations also and hurdles for you to jump to do, not only with your sense of security financially, but your sense of security generally, to do with mental and emotional self as well. So for you to be able to feel safe, you've got frustrations and difficulties and depressions that can creep in to do with your sense of feeling safe, and especially to do with matters relating to finances, okay? Now, it's a double whammy here because Saturn is retrograde during this particular time. So that means that things are not going to go smoothly for you to do with finances during this 2-month period. Now, we look at the joy side of things for you, Scorpio. With the Sun in the 1st of May, starting off in the 7th house of your horoscope, seeing a focus of your personality upon your partner or a spouse or a partner if you have one. And there's very good stars for you generally for anything to do with joint activities together, and a focus upon dealing with the general public, legal matters and things like that that should go pretty well. Now we've got Venus is in the 8th house of your horoscope to start the month off with from the 1st of May, and it remains there until I tell you there's a change. And with Venus in the 8th house of your horoscope, there's a tendency for you to have benefits through group finances and joint finances. There's a lot of increase in your sex drive, especially if you're female, and there's a tendency for you to want to delve into the mysteries of life after death and things like that. Now on the 8th of May, the first change that we have with these two is on the 8th of May with Venus moving into the 9th house of your horoscope, and it remains there for 2 or 3 weeks, Scorpio. With Venus in the 9th house of your horoscope, there's a tremendous opportunity for you socially connected with in-laws, and it's a good time for travel. It's a favourable time for you generally to do with educational matters and an expansion of your consciousness through study, research and investigation. But social activities with in-laws and social activities through travel and social activities with people that you're connected with in any way, shape or form from the past to do with educational things, okay? Now then we look at the next movement, which is the 22nd of May, with the Sun moving into the 8th house of your horoscope, and it remains there for 30 days. You'll be deeply introspective during this time, seeking an answer to the mysteries of life, Scorpio. Deeply introspective, and there's a strong urge within yourself to make changes, to bring about changes within yourself, to let go of habit patterns that you feel as if you've outgrown. Now then the next one we come to is on the 6th of June, Venus moves into the 10th house of your horoscope and remains there for 2 or 3 weeks, Scorpio. With Venus in the 10th house of your horoscope, there's a tremendous opportunity for you to expand in business. Social activities connected with the career and with business can go well for you, and a great deal of love for parents and social involvements with parents during this particular 2 or 3 weeks. And it's a very good time for you to look for expansion, go for interviews for improvements in your career and expansion in business, okay? Now then the next one is the 22nd of June, when the Sun moves into the 9th house of your horoscope and remains there for 30 days. With the Sun in the 9th house of your horoscope for 30 days, Scorpio, it means that you're going to want to expand yourself to new horizons through study, research and investigation, or through travel. So it could see a distant journey for you sometime in that 30-day period. And now I want to look at Jupiter for you. Jupiter is a wonderful beneficial influence in our life. It's the embodiment of the second ray of love wisdom. And with Jupiter in the 10th house of your horoscope, you've got very, very good stars during this 2-month period to do with business, career, ambitions, and high achievements. And there can be expansion in business, elevation in your career, and very good stars for you through parents. Okay, you could even travel to do with business or career, or travel to do with parents, or a parent could travel to visit you or whatever. Now Jupiter is going through 13 degrees Leo to 21 degrees Leo during this 2-month period, which is very fast. If you've got any planets there in that period, in that area, 13 degrees to 21 degrees Leo, it means that there's a Jupiterian conjunction with those planets sometime in that period, in that 2-month period. So you want to know about that, and I'm happy to do your horoscope number 2 or 3 to help you to understand what's going on there with those Jupiterian conjunctions so that you can take full advantage of that, okay? So that's about all I wanted to do for you, Scorpio, as far as this particular 2-month period is concerned. But what I want to do now is to steer you towards a video of mine that I've just produced in the last couple of weeks that has more people ticking the like box than any other video out of my 150 videos that I've produced. There's more people have ticked the like box with this particular video than on a percentage basis than any other video that I've ever produced. Why? It's called The Meaning of Your Dreams, and it is an incredible video, and I advise you and urge you to find your way to my website. The website address is always listed there, Scorpio, in the description of my video, okay? So you just go there and you'll get the website address. Go to the page in my website called YouTube Videos, and there you'll find that particular video on the meaning of your dreams. All you do is you just click on that link and it comes up immediately and you start watching it. It's only 28 minutes or something like that, so it's tolerable, but it's a tremendous tremendous insight into what's going on in our dreams and the incredible meaning of our dreams. So I urge you to watch that, and if you do want to learn more about my teachings, then there's 12 CDs that are available through the free CD page in my website, and you can start listening to those 12 CDs. And then there's horoscope, then there's intensive numbers 2 and 3, which take you into Spiritual University with deeper teachings from my second book, Coming Home, An Eternal Journey. So it's nice to have this opportunity to be able to talk with you, Scorpio. You're a very deep person, very introspective, very powerful, very spiritual, and you're very advanced, okay? So you've found your way to this particular video, not by chance, but because you're ready now to make changes inside of yourself that you weren't ready to make, Scorpio, even a month ago. So I wish you well in your journey with me, going through my videos and my CDs and intensives and stuff like that. And I look forward to being of further service to you. Thank you.